Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Watch Our Rams video. We are currently on day 3 for the Siege of Tia event, and we have 6 days to go if we include today because the server actually just had its reset. So let's just include today, and we're going to talk about a few things here in terms of progression, where we're going, and what to expect. So lots of people have been complaining about how people are going to weird tiles. Like we have all these twin fin tiles at the bottom that are leading to nowhere. Why did people actually claim it? Then it boils down to how each of these tiles are actually shaped. So we have the dispatch tiles, which are very easy to clear. So you can see this is at 76% and the battle one is on 44%, which people are not clearing. Even though this is the one next to the Oran blessing that we all need. So I think it really boils down to that. The battle tiles are always avoided, whereas the purify tiles as well as the supply tiles are just, getting completed so quickly. So I think after everyone reached Twin Fin and realized how hard the boss was, we are starting to have a turnaround where people are actually realizing that we need to go after faction tiles, especially people with mid-game accounts that still can't really deal with the bosses here. They start to realize that, we need to go after some of these bigger tiles to, make things work. So the good news here is that we've unlocked quite a few of the good stuff. Chaotic is unlocked, which is a very big faction team in the Sokedin's boss. We have Infernos unlocked soon. This will be a huge deal for both the Finis and Twin Fin boss. The Northerners, not so much, but I think we are going towards the path of getting the Eova one, which is pretty important because they just straight up give everyone 15% penetration, which is a big deal considering that we are very limited in terms of the units that we can use and inspiration doesn't seem to work. So I'll say that the Eova blessing is at the moment one of the pressing priorities that we need to go after. The second one will be the Oran blessing right at the bottom here. So we just need to clear tile 673 to actually get to this. Whereas for this one, on the Eova one, we just need to hit top. And then we have the Cyrus tile unlocked, which is great. This is 20% reach after casting ultimate, which is going to help in a lot of the boss fights. Then we have the Leia blessing, which is more or less there already. I'm not sure what sort of retribution actually does, but for sure, we should just unlock it because we're right next to it. And then we also have a huge buff here. This is the Fighter Defender stats buff. It is on the way to Lord Finis. So my suggestion is once we've unlocked the SO path, we can actually just trickle our way down to this one as well. And yeah, I think we are more or less there because there's only that many tiles remaining. And if you use the eye icon here, you can actually see what are the better bonuses to go after. So you can see after the Esotericis tile with the option of going after 539 or 505. 539 is actually just 30 combat merit, which is nothing much in the grand scheme of things. So we should definitely go after the attribute bonus, which gives 6 attack. And then afterwards, you can see, yeah, this one is combat merit still. So let's just go after the defense one. And down to 537. And then over here, let's see again. Do we get, yeah, just combat merit? So we just go for stats. And then down to this tile over here. That's the best way to tell which is, the optimal tile to go for. In general, we want to avoid all these treasure chest tiles because most of them don't give anything useful except for the morale ones. I think these ones are still okay to go after, but at the end of the day, let's just focus on getting all these big buffs first of all before we can even attempt any bosses. We also have some other buffs on the side here. We have the Toreador stun buff, which I don't think does much. We have the Marksman Meteor buff, which also doesn't do much because I don't recall any Marksman really being at the end of the boss fights. I mean, you have Vaughn, I guess, and like Talin, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So after that, we'll make our way down to Azeroth, and we should more or less be set from there. Now, what about the boss fights? I think that's the other big deal that we have to probably talk about here today. Ideally, no one should be attempting any bosses yet. I know I've posted videos where, you know, we've almost gotten the max scores already before all these faction buffs were unlocked. If we re-ran those now, we'll probably get it sorted out. But why should you not be clearing it? Because given all the attempts that we've put in on day one, we are still only at 7.5% for the Twin Fin lot, which is not much. So we should be getting bonuses as much as possible so that we can maximize our score and go beyond the limits of the 3 billion score that we should be getting here. And if let's say we talk about these 4 bosses in general, most of you will ideally go to the Hellfire Throne one if you're not a very endgame player, because that's the most straightforward one. It's just straight up DPS, raw DPS to get rid of the boss. Whereas if you go to the Law of Desolation one, this is by far one of the more difficult ones because his mechanics is such that every debuff that you get on him, it's going to reduce his dodge chance, and he has a max cap of 90%. So there's only 2 sets of factions that can really do these debuffs effectively. That's going to be your Infernal Burning Team as well as your Poisonous, your Poison debuff Esotericist team. So probably what's going to happen is not many people are going to be able to clear through Finis. I think it's the same deal for Twin Fin as well. Unless you have high awakenings on your Esotericist or Arbiter teams, this is going to be pretty rough for you because you need both defensive dispel to dispel both of this Embered Decay and Molten Mire, as well as offensive dispel to take away the Hellfire Resonance stacks. Alright, so other than that, Sokadins, I've already mentioned, it's just straight up DPS. Chaotic works very well, Arbiter as well with Talin. Inspiration seems to work if it's on active inspiration units like Durza, as well as, what do you call it? Ravenhall. But with Diao Chan, it's a bit weird as to whether it works. Beelzebub also works as well, so that's the thing. So yeah, other than that though, all these boss tiles, I think in general, you don't need to be too worried about clearing them if you're not strong enough, because at the end of the day, what we need here is the combat merits, right? Where use this to purchase stuff from the shop. And you can see you only need to challenge them 2 times each and Azure 5 times, and that maxes out the combat merit reward. Beyond that, if let's say I were to look at the Twin Fin tile, if I spend 50 morale here, I get up to 875 combat merit. If I compare this to like a faction tile, where if I spend 20, I get up to 320, it's not that big of a difference, especially if you aren't even able to clear the boss on a maxed out setting. So ideally, people should be going after the tiles that they think can give them the best rewards, instead of just straight up going to the boss, because you're not going to get enough combat merit at the end of the day. We'll touch upon that shortly about how much combat merit is needed to buy out the entire shop. And once you hear that, you'll probably realize that you shouldn't be wasting your morale on content that you can't even min-max. So unless you're able to max out your scores here, there's a very high chance that, you know, clearing this might not be as optimal. I mean, if we compare morale to morale exact percentages, clearing at least 2 million will get you almost the same amount of combat merit as if you clear a faction tile. So ideally, you need to get there. But if you're matching with random units because you don't have friends playing the game with you, then that's going to be pretty rough on you. Now, that's enough of me talking about the map tiles, the mechanics, what should we do with the boss. As I said, ideally, we shouldn't have to off-base rush the boss, especially if you're not going to get a high score anyways, because you only need to fight the boss twice. This quest all don't reset, so you don't really have to worry about it next. Now, Azeroth as well, one quick mention. What I understand is that it's a random matchmaking process, so this one I think will be quite difficult to clear through, but let's see how this goes when we get there. Now, one last thing that I want to cover here, and that's going to be the shop. So if I just focus on the special shop here, I've did some calculations, and what happens here is that you need a total of about 94,000 combat merit to actually clear through all of this. So if let's say we focus on just the priorities, the Siege of Tyr Pact, the Variant Gem, as well as the ancient gears, and then the summoning crystals, you'll need about 40,000 combat merit. So just bear that in mind. Don't just randomly buy everything that comes up, because you might run into a chance where if you're not spending your morale optimally, you're not going to get all the morale that you need to actually clear through this whole thing. And bear in mind, 94,000 is just for this page. If we talk about the normal page as well, adding in the meteoroids, the hammers and everything, you probably expect maybe another 20 or 30k coming out from this side of the shop. So just bear that in mind. Don't buy everything off the shop as you get the chance to do so, because we're not sure if we can actually even clear through everything at this moment. So just be wary. There is a chance we'll get enough combat merit for everything, but I think staying on the side of caution is always going to be good. So yeah, that's a quick video talking about how we're progressing. So to sum it up, we should still be going after the bonus tiles. And which ones do we focus on? Focus on the orange one, which gives every 20 instance of damage, you're gonna get, Anathema proc. Where was it? Yeah, there we go. Every 20 instance of damage dealt to the enemy inflicts Anathema, which is the skill on Oren, where he does a crap ton of true and physical damage. And we also get a 10% damage increase. And then the other one will be the Iova one, which I mentioned, getting that 15% penetration. And I think other than that, we also have this one on the way there to the Finis path, where we want to get that 15% stats for fighters, which are the most commonly used set of units at the moment. And then after all that, as I mentioned, check the tiles. Make sure you are doing the right thing. I mean, we can't instruct the whole world to do the right thing, but at least know what you're pushing up against. For example, when we're going through these tiles over here to the fighter one, we should be going for the attack as well as the attack speed ones instead of going for the treasure chest, which only gives us a measly amount of combat merit. And then last but not least, on the boss, make sure you're aware that you don't need to clear through the boss every day. You don't need to do that. It's just a one-off thing. So if you're not getting max scores from the boss anyways, might as well get more bang for your buck and clear the faction tiles. There are also going to be many random nightmare and hell difficulty tiles all over the map. You can focus on those instead of going to this where you're not going to get enough combat merit to redeem everything in the shop. And yeah, as I said, the shop, you'll need about 94,000 combat merit to redeem everything here. 30 to 40,000 for the important stuff like the hero pack, Variant Gem, Ancient Gear and Summons. And then on the normal side, they'll take probably another 20 to 30,000 combat merit. So make sure you don't buy everything once they get unlocked. Maybe do some calculations on the back end and see where we get. After all, we are on day 3 right now, right? And we already have 32,000. Who knows? Maybe the next 6 days, I'll get another 96,000 out of this if we just multiply that by 4. Alright, enough of me ranting. That's it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. I will also drop all the promo codes that we have at the moment for getting extra morale so that you guys can maximize the amount of clearance that you're doing. But I think we're making overall good progress now. And yeah, hopefully people just hold off their attacks until we unlock more of these bars. And then next big one is the Iova one as well as the Anathema one from Oren. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next one. Goodbye.